Okay, it's 6 p.m. This meeting of the Westport Historical Commission is called to order. Voting members present: Katrina Strozik, Mark Thompson, and
welcome Mark.
Welcome to Mark. It's your first meeting with the commission, and we're very much looking forward to having you on the commission. Ward Mooney, Garrett Stuck, William Kendall, and Caroline Bolter. And we are missing tonight Deborah Chiolfi and Timothy Bryant. Okay, first item is the minutes of the meeting of October 6th, 2025. And Katrina prepared the first draft. I made comments and circulated them. Well, I made changes and circulated them. Any comments on the minutes? Any changes? Do I hear a motion?
I move that we accept the minutes as revised.
Second. Okay. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay. I will take that back forward. Okay, next item is treasurer's report. There is no treasurer's report this month. I haven't been able to get a response from the town accountant recently, so I'll keep trying. Okay, next item, applications for certificate of appropriateness. 1878 F Drift Road, Martha Slate, solar panels on roof. And this is an application that had a preliminary hearing last month, I think.
Yeah, I've got some extra copies.
So,
Thanks, Martha.
And basically, nothing really has changed since last time. I applied. I brought a picture of where the solar roofs were. The solar was going to be on the roof. The difference in the picture of the roof is that it will be all black. And there was a question of where my property was, and people were advised to go and look at where that break was. I think it's around 1954 Main Road.
By the way, Martha, we have two checks from you. One from Isaacson and
okay.
the other from you. Which one would you like back?
I'll take the one for me then. Okay. I didn't realize I didn't have to, whatever. Okay. Just trying to follow procedure. Is there any questions or
questions from the commission?
Concerns?
So you're saying that the panels are black, you're going to re-roof, so the roof will also be black?
No.
No.
I was not hoping not to have to do that.
Okay, I guess I misunderstood what you meant when you said the only change is it's black. So what's...
So if you look at the roof here,
yeah,
this has a little white outline, and that's really just their design on how to.
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
So they will look like this.
Got it.
Okay. So they'll look like this. When they did the schematic, they just had those white things there so that, it's a plug and play.
So I guess I struggle with this one a little bit because it is visible and it's not on a smaller structure. And so...
There is no smaller structure.
Right. I know, I understand.
Yeah.
But I think everything that we have approved so far in the district, if it's visible, the panels are on a smaller structure. So
if you look at Betty and David's house, it's actually on their house and the smaller structure.
So the one that I'm familiar with, that it's on the telescoped addition on the back of the back of the main home.
Yes. But yeah, and if you look at, there's another house on Windward Way where it's very visible, and it is not black roof.
The Caldy's house?
Yeah,
Yep, but it's visible from,
Windward Way,
which is a private road.
okay,
Yeah, I think it's also visible from the river.
yeah.
Barely.
Yeah,
I've,
yeah. I mean, that was one of
I've seen it
that was one of
because
the
that was one of the
considerations.
considerations. It's,
And mine's barely this, I mean, there isn't a lot, you have to really slow
Yeah.
down to see mine.
no, I agree, I do understand. I guess I'm just kind of putting it out there as this isn't quite 100% clean. If we approve it, we're approving something that you can see from Main Road that is not on a smaller structure. So all of
I
the,
don't have a smaller structure,
no, I completely understand that, Martha.
I just have a house.
I know. The only point I'm making is that this is different from everything we have approved to date. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And so we just have to decide, are we still okay with it, right? And we might be. It might be, it's a sliver, right? Your house is really far back from the road,
Yes.
and so maybe it's okay. But I'm just, offering up the facts of the situation based on what's being presented.
Mhm. And I see it as, I don't have another option. To me, excuse me, Betty, that is her house. It is attached to her house, and that's right on Main Road. And it is not a black roof.
Yeah, my concern isn't that it's not a black roof.
I thought you just said it was.
Well, I think that's one concern. My concern is that it is on your main structure.
One more time.
I understand that. So your other option is not to install them at all.
It is.
Right. So I'm really trying not to be offensive, or I'm just stating the facts. All of our other approvals have been, if it is visible, it's on a smaller part of the home.
If you look
And-
at the Palmers,
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
right on their house.
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
right, I mean, I appreciate your point, but I think that what we've been trying to achieve, especially on Main Road, is to sort of preserve that view up and down Main Road.
Yep.
That you shouldn't see a lot of solar panels when you look up and down the road. And-
Yep.
And that's why, we've been pretty firm about, don't put them on the front main part of the
Structure.
house.
Yep.
Put them on the outbuildings, put them, on the second L.
Yep.
I don't think what Martha's proposing is any more visible, it's less visible, I think, than what we've already approved on some of those, secondary
Yep.
parts of other houses.
I agree.
So I think, I agree, that we have said, one thing that we have said is don't put them on the main roof.
Correct.
But that was mostly guided by the fact that the main roofs are what are visible.
More visible
as you
on
look
Main
up and
Road.
down
Yep.
Main Road.
And that truly is the only point I'm trying to make here. Your home isn't even on Main Road. You just happen to be able to see it from a piece, right?
Yeah.
Right, it's just
Yeah,
part of,
What sets the
right,
precedent?
it's just, and yet, we don't set precedent, right? We take every example on its own. But you asked if there was any discussion,
Yeah.
right? It's the elephant in the
For sure,
room,
yeah.
right?
Katrina, here's a good point. The one thing about it is that visually, you're going to see this black solar panels on that roof with a light roof around it. And it's true, it's on a big roof. It's far in the distance, but still, from Main Road, you're going to see that, and it'll look just like solar panels. If the roof was black, it would not show up. That would be my recommendation.
Could I ask a different question? How old is your roof?
20 years old.
You're getting very close to the time that it
I
would be
know.
economic to do that and
I
then
know.
the solar.
Yeah.
Are we opening up the comments
Yes,
for public?
let's,
Okay.
open a public hearing. Betty, please.
It used to be that if you got the subsidy for the panels, you could also include the roof. You would get a subsidy for the roof also, if you needed to change it. I don't know if you've looked into that.
I haven't.
But it was 15 years ago.
I think the point I was trying to make is putting a brand-new solar panel on a roof that is going to expire long before the roof does. I think that if you presented a black roof, because that was going to endure about this.
If that is the change and I can get it approved, is that what I'm hearing? Is I need to do a new roof, black roof to get it approved?
Well, I mean, it would certainly make it much less visible. And, I mean, we do have a concern about that because you have a fairly light roof. I mean, another concern that I have is the view of your roof is essentially at eye level from the road.
Mhm.
So it's not something that's above and disappears. I mean, when you look, and there are two driveways where you can see the roof, I think.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a nice vista. I mean, you don't have very many long vistas like that, at the point.
I think that's true. That vista, true, the
Yeah,
window
there's
in
a
there.
big oak tree, I think.
Exactly.
between those driveways, so. Other comments, thoughts? So the roof is 20 years old. Is there a timing issue with this? I mean,
I'd like to get it done because obviously the solar incentives roll out this
Mhm.
year. So, I mean, I can get the roof done very quickly,
oh,
and I've looked at it. I didn't really want to have to do it, but if I do the black roof and you guys say, okay, that'll make us approve it, then I will do that.
yeah, and then you have a new roof that you don't have to, how do they re-roof if they're solar panels? They just remove all the panels?
They
and then-
just re-roof,
Oh,
and then you have to put the solar panels on.
yeah.
So I would do the re-roof
First.
really quickly, and I've already worked with somebody to see if I could do that, and they said they could get it in very quickly,
Mhm.
and then I would do the solar.
Mhm. Well, it seems like that would be
That's a good
a good solution.
I would like to make a motion to approve with the condition that the roof be black, re-roofed in black.
Is there a second?
Second.
Before we go too far, I should say, I opened a public hearing, and I should ask if there are any other comments from the public. Okay, public hearing is closed. We have a motion from Bill to approve the certificate under the condition that the roof be reshingled with black shingles. And we have a second, did we have a second?
Yeah, Ward
Second
did.
from Ward? Okay, any further discussion? Okay, let's have a roll call vote. Katrina?
Katrina Strozak, nay.
Ward Booney, aye.
Mark? So state your name and then,
Mark Thompson, aye.
William Kendall, aye.
Caroline Bolger, aye.
Garrett Stuck, aye.
Okay.
So, passes. Martha, before you leave, I think there's some paperwork to do, and our secretary's not here, so bear with me. We also need to appoint monitors. Who would like to be a monitor?
I can be a monitor.
Katrina? Katrina and Ward are monitors. Okay, and then need to make a note here that roof to be reshingled. With black shingles prior to installation. So I guess if I could just get you to sign there.
Sure.
And then I will sign.
Okay.
Okay, you're all set. So, so let us, so you need to let the monitors
Jeff,
know.
Or you and
You
Katrina.
can, yeah, you can let Katrina know, or you
When
can
the
let me
roof is
know,
done.
and I'll pass it on. Yeah, so before you start the solar panels.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is 2038 40 Main Road, demolition of 2 sheds and rebuilding 1. Who's here to present? Kit is here, okay. Presented by Kit Wise.
I have handouts for everybody.
Thank you, Kit.
Thank you.
This project is actually small enough that we can put our drawings actually visible. So you have in your handouts, you have, I'm Christopher Kitwise, architect for David and Lauren Jonkus. You have handouts, you have photographs. These are 2 very dilapidated existing sheds right on the south property line of 2040 and 2038. They actually overlap the property line in between the 2 properties. They're both under the same ownership. So we have, these are the existing sheds. One's right up against the other one. We want to demolish the smaller shed and just get rid of it. And we want to demolish the existing big shed and then reproduce it. And also change its orientation. Presently, its long axis goes north and south. We want to turn it sideways so that it goes east and west on its long axis. This is the proposal for the restored large shed, which would have a window on the north side, which faces out toward the property. It would be blank on the side facing the neighbors to the south. It would have doors on the east end for bringing kayaks in and out, and it would be blank on the west side, which faces up toward the street. Since I prepared these drawings, the owners came to me and said, gee, could we have an extra 2 feet for the long kayaks? So this is a proposal here to turn this 16-foot long shed into an 18-foot long shed. And that's my presentation.
Question, I assume the little shed is on the east side, the water side.
No, it's on the west side.
Oh, it's on the west side?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad I asked.
And you can't see either one of them because there's so much growth
I
on
know
top.
the house well, and
Yes.
I actually didn't know there were sheds there, so I attest to your statement,
Neither one of them is particularly precious or historic
well, or visible.
or visible or usable.
Well,
When were they built, you know?
I don't really know.
So the new shed is gonna be bigger than the shed that exists?
Yes, that's the request. The original application was for just reproducing it at the exact size, which is 10 feet by 16 feet. This alternate proposal that I'm bringing tonight brings it up to 10 feet
10
by
to
18
18.
feet.
But it's 10 feet wide then,
Yes,
so it has a long, narrow proportion.
yes. And that long proportion runs parallel to the east-west property line on the south side of the property. And it'll take up less space than the existing 2 sheds do, or equivalent to that anyway.
will the new shed be on the same, will it be any further to the north, or will it be on the same level?
It'll be on the same level. It'll be.
I don't know how to express that. It'll be on the same line.
In the package I submitted on the full-scale drawing, it's very hard to see on the handout, but if you have the full-scale site plan, which I failed to bring with me, you can see that
Is it this right here, Kit? Is it that?
yeah, it's that, and unfortunately, you can just barely see the outline of the, this is the outline very faintly of the little shed.
I presume it's here,
Yeah.
yeah. One or the other.
One's just below it there.
Yeah, and you can see the outline of
Do you have
It's like,
see this outline here?
so on the third page,
And then this is the bigger shed.
Do you have the full-scale drawing that I submitted?
I probably do. Yeah, it must be in here, right?
Yes.
so the shed is between the main house and the barn, right?
Yes.
But it kind of overlaps both, I gather, of the property line.
So is it 10 feet, is it a 10-foot setback?
No, it's right on the property line.
So will we relocate it so it's a 10-foot setback?
It'd be right on the property line.
Okay, is that okay?
That'll be up to the building department.
Yeah, it's not our issue, but do you need a variance for that, or?
It's probably going to be seen as grandfathered.
Except we're knocking everything down, so will it be? I mean, it's replacing new for old, so I don't know if that's anything to be grandfathered.
If it becomes an issue, we'll have to ask for a variance.
Yeah,
But I doubt that it will be. If it becomes an issue and we need a variance, or they won't give a variance, we have to put it somewhere else, we'll have to come back
yeah,
for a revision.
review.
But you can see where,
Down here?
so you can see the outline of this is the big shed. It'll get turned around like this, and this is the small shed.
Okay,
So it's taking up essentially the same, even if we extend this to 18 feet, it'll be essentially occupying the same area as the 2 existing sheds.
yeah, so it's gonna be a bigger profile to both neighbors.
Yes.
What is the reason for doing that 90-degree shift?
Mostly just for the convenience of bringing kayaks up from the, it's a sort of little boat ramp here. You can be able to bring kayaks right up into it.
Okay, what is the wall
I
height
didn't
on that?
realize that kayaks had such.
What is the wall height?
Oh, it's just barely 7 feet. Just enough to get a door into it. You see, this is the outline of the existing small shed that'll get torn down. This is the outline of the bigger shed. It'll get rotated.
Yeah, I can put Carolyn wants to see.
Yeah, I mean, in principle, it will open up the view a little bit more too. but-
Yes, it will. From this way, it will open up the view, yes.
And the materials, it doesn't show the materials?
I think, the plan does, yeah, we'll redo it in board and batten and cedar, just like what, just as it is,
Oh, okay.
and let it weather.
Yeah.
The boards that are on it right now, are they, are they white? The old.
Yeah, I draw this with, assuming 1x10 boards.
So they're not the white, the existing guys, the white ones?
Well, they're probably 12 inches instead of 10 inches. I think it's treacherous as well. It'll effectively look very similar.
So it ends up looking very shed-like.
Yes.
And what was the thinking about those two blank faces of the building? Did you think about windows there? or-
Well, we've actually talked about if we can find a salvageable window or something around, we might stick one in on either of those sides, for which we come back for a monitor review.
Mhm. So that's what you would like to do? It sounds like? I mean,
If we can find a convenient window to put in.
Any thoughts about that, Phil? Windows on those two faces?
Well, we see a window here in the old shed, and it would be to have the window there, yes, I suppose.
On the west side,
On the west side.
on this west elevation, this is the elevation, the west elevation
Right,
faces the street.
right.
We could put a window in there if you think it would help.
In the batten as opposed to a shingle. So I know half the shed is shingled, half the shed is the boards.
I think it would all be board and batten.
It would all be board and batten.
Yeah.
I have a question. The window looks oversized for the shed. Do you,
It's actually, that window is a brand-new window. It was a mistake from the main house that we had sitting around. And it turns out to be exactly the same size as the existing window on the existing old shed.
it's idiosyncratic.
That window's in very bad shape. It's not reusable. So this one turns out to be virtually the same size.
It looks as though it adds character, but implausible character. And I think if you took the window back to the proper scale for the building, it might do the whole thing.
Well, I'm reproducing what's there.
Which was there because of a implant on it,
What's
a
that?
larger window?
beg your
Because it's there because the window, you said, if I understood you correctly, was just brought in and planted there. It wasn't necessarily the original window?
That window on the old building? I have no idea whether it's original or
I
not.
think what he said, if I can just step in, that window's an existing window, that's the size of the existing window on the existing shed. They happen to have one left over from their other project that matches the same size, so they were just gonna take out the old one and put in the new one. Kind of, that's what he said.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But to be clear, you were, if you found one, you might put one in that was more to scale than that.
I think if I found a window, I'd put in a little square window in that end of it.
I have to compliment you. The shed that we had on our property had exactly that, just a little
Yeah.
piece, and we preserved that.
Let's open a public hearing. So the public hearing is now open. Any comments from the public?
I'm Jeff Wade from 2034 Main Road, and I'm actually the direct neighbor of this. I have no problem with what they're looking to do. I think it would be fine. As far as the windows go, since you talked about putting one on the other side possibly, that bigger one might look better on the other side because it's a gable, so you have more room. And then get a new one that's smaller on the side one, if you want. That'd be a suggestion. Only because you guys are talking about that, so.
Might be easier for hanging kayaks too.
Ready? Sorry, can you come to the lectern, please? Yeah,
I have a strong voice.
Yes. I just got the big high sign. We didn't hear Jeff.
Is the shed on 2038 only, or on 2040 only?
The existing.
No, the new shed.
The new shed is on both properties. It overlaps the property line.
Is that a good idea? What if you want to sell? Can you do that? They're two separate lots.
I mean, I think
I
that's,
don't know, that's what worried me when I heard you.
Well, I mean,
It's a good
that's-
point.
Better check it out.
That's a good point.
That's a zoning property matter. It's not really.
Yeah, but it's, I'm a neighbor across the street, so. Could you check that out? Because are you supposed to be overlapping two properties? Just because the person owns it, maybe you can. One person owns it. But if you want to sell, then what do you do?
Well, you move the shed. We're gonna make it movable, so.
Well, I'll check on that. And you mentioned something about a variance. What was that for?
oh, it's gonna be right on the property line.
Yeah, I think you need a 10-foot,
Checking on
I think you need a
that.
10-foot setback.
Yeah, but that's not our,
Yeah.
No, but it's
no problem.
something
It's
that
something
you have
that-
to come back
yeah.
for.
Well, I tell you what, when we get closer to building it, if you would approve it, hopefully with the 18-foot length rather than the 16-foot length, if you would approve it as presented here, when we get around to being ready to build it, we will have figured out the window situation, and we can come back to the monitors and perhaps follow the suggestion of putting a big window on this end and a small window there.
Any comments?
Well, I don't know if we can approve something with that contingency. I mean, if we approve it, we just approve it as it is, and then it would be nice if you come back and talk about windows.
But that's what I'm proposing.
I mean, it's not something formal. We're not saying you have to come back and talk to us about windows. If we're just,
We might, if you approve this, we might just build it like that and leave it at that.
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna settle windows, you should settle it now.
Yeah, no, we have to approve something specific. And it sounds like this is what you would like us to approve.
That is what we like you to approve, at the 18-foot length, hopefully.
How do people feel about the length? The 18-foot versus 16-foot? Is that what you
Yes.
said?
I think adding it is not a real matter. I think it's a 10-foot wide structure, which is a small proportion. And as Kit said, the wall height is 7 feet. And so you're really having this shed that has the proportions of a shed. What would be a problem with us is if the wall height was made higher and it became a bigger structure. So I think it's going to look like the sheds that he's taken down.
It will sit a little higher off the ground. Right now, the boards are literally half underground. So we will have to lift it up a little bit, just to get the wood away from the ground.
And the lot drops
The
off.
lot drops off.
So it will be at the grade of the uphill side?
You can see,
Yes.
the lot is dropping over here.
Mhm.
So a little bit,
So
in
the,
this property, a little bit has had different interpretations.
Mhm.
So what is a little bit?
So, for example, how much higher is the ridge line?
I would say the ridge line is a foot higher, a foot higher at the low end, and maybe 6 inches higher at that end.
would you if it's exposed masonry, would you be willing to have that in stone rather than concrete?
I think, in fact, when we get around to building it, we'll probably build it on piers. And then just, like you build a deck, we'll build it on piers, and then a 2x6 floor on top of the piers.
So that would raise it further?
No, because at present, the bottom, at present, there's probably a 2x6 floor on the bottom, and the, so the floor is at this level at the bottom of the existing door. And that remains pretty much the same. So here's at the low end, here's the 1 foot that would get raised.
And that would be open space underneath? So you
Yeah,
have piers and-
probably be open space
Right.
underneath. It'd be 2 piers here and just a floor standing across behind
Is
that.
that a wood ramp?
Is that?
Is that a wood ramp?
Yeah.
Cool.
Will you be making those changes so that they can be approved as such? You're kind of adding and
Not adding anything.
well, you are raising the whole piece, and you are creating
Well,
something
that's,
that
that's,
doesn't
what's,
exist.
that's what's presented on the drawing.
I don't see the space underneath it.
Well, this is the space under here.
Do you have the piers in these
I do
drawings?
not have the piers.
Okay. I don't see
I
that.
originally envisioned this as somebody will lend me a pen. I'll put a pen in my.
There you go.
I'll draw it here. Pier here, and pier here. Okay? And then this would be open space.
And the same on the south elevation.
And same on the south. So, up here, going on this one, I hope this is what you approve. Pier here, pier here, pier here, and you see a pier here, and a pier here, and a pier here, and a pier
And just to be precise, those would be granite,
there. Oh, I think it'd be concrete.
concrete.
It's sticking about the ground about that much.
I mean, for me, I think the biggest change here is the fact that we're turning the building. I think it lowers the profile in terms of, well, as we talk about preserving vistas, it shrinks the profile as you look this way, but for the neighbors, it increases the profile. But the neighbors don't have a concern, so. And I think that, you know, if it's the building department's purview to say where exactly it's sited on the property, to Betty's point, I think it's an excellent point. I think that being on the property line and not having that 10-foot, I think it's a 10-foot setback. Thank you, that's the word.
By the building code,
But, yeah,
you would have to have a 10-foot setback.
yeah, so
It's actually
it's,
unusual in this town, and many towns allow small sheds to be much closer to the property line
yeah,
than
so it'll be,
setbacks allow.
it'll be their decision on if it can be in that particular location, but
I mean, I agree with Katrina that I think it's acceptable. I think he has designed a nice little shed.
Yep.
And I would vote for that shed. Nice if it had another window.
yeah, but it is pretty nice, and it's great in terms of reusing a lovely window that they had in the main house with that wavy glass, and Now it's gonna be
Well,
on their
this is not,
shed?
this is not a wavy glass window.
Oh, it's not a wavy glass
No,
one?
no, it's a brand new window. It's a brand new.
Oh, all right,
brand
dag
new.
nabbit.
It's
But-
actually much too high-end for this little shed, but
Yeah,
they have to use it.
but it's reused, yeah. I don't know.
Are there other comments from the public? Okay, hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Further comments, discussion from the commission?
And I do think changing
The orientation?
yeah, orientation is excellent.
I do too. Thank you.
I agree.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
Let's just be clear what we're approving. So we're approving, you're making a motion to approve the 18-foot length?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
And there's a second by Caroline. Okay, any further discussion? Let's take a roll call vote.
All right, Katrina Strozik, aye.
Art Simpson,
Laura Mooney, aye. Garrett Stuck, aye.
William Kendall, aye.
Caroline Bunker, aye.
The certificate passes.
I'll give you this one for the record.
Mr. Peters.
Got the Peters mark.
Good. Monitors.
Should they be the same as the ones monitoring the home? Make it easy?
Yes. And that's the two of us. Okay, so monitors.
You have two. Darren Hill?
Yeah, because we're monitoring the other two buildings.
Is our church project up next?
Yes. Yeah, so you can go ahead and prepare paperwork to do here. Okay, so I want to make a note here that the 18-foot length is approved. It's on this plan. Yeah, so we'll sign this plan. Yeah. So. Okay, so we've approved the 18-foot length, and there will be 6 concrete piers. I think they're not staying. Okay? How are these folders? Folders? Okay, so the next item on the agenda is review of proposed changes to the design for Howland Hall. And we did approve a certificate of appropriateness for Howland Hall, so this is a request for certain changes by Kip Wise.
Okay. I have notes. Okay, our original vision for Howland Hall was a complete redoing of the whole space, which would have involved, I'm sorry, I want to change this one again. I really want to have, just bear with me, please. Too many drawings. Thank you, Jeff. Okay. This is the plan which you all approved, and it involved a complete redo of the interior of Howland Hall. And we were going to move the kitchen from the east end of the hall to the west end of the hall, put in new toilet rooms. We were going to blast out the existing concrete stairs, and rebuild the stairs, and make this ramp connection from the main level of Howland Hall down to the main level of the church, down to the main level of Howland Hall. And then we had this entry here, which had stairs going up and a lift to get from the ground level up half a level to Howland Hall and down half a level to the Sunday school rooms in the basement. We were going to get rid of this concrete stair and replace all the windows and reside all the Howland Hall. At present, we have funding which will accomplish only some of this. And included in that is going to be residing all of Howland Hall and replacing all the windows in Howland Hall, with a couple of exceptions that I'll explain to you. We will be building this ramp. We will not blast out the stair. We're going to leave the existing stair and rearrange the circulation somewhat. And I think most importantly, from the commission point of view, is that we need to enlarge this little entry area by a small amount. Once I got into the weeds and really worked out clearances for handicap accessibility to doors and the required distance between the swings of doors, I ended up having to make this little bump out a little bit bigger. It's presently, I think, 11 by 11, and in the new version, it goes out to 14 feet, almost 15 feet off the building, and out to about 12 and a half feet wide. What have I got? Yeah, 12 foot 3 wide by 14 foot long, as opposed to, well, I don't know. And the consequence is, if you compare these drawings have been proposed here, and what you approved previously. So you can see that this is a little bit wider than this was. we've added a little decorative feature similar to what's on the church to it. I've also managed to integrate the new roof over this link. The roof is going to have to be raised in order to get headroom coming through this ramp here. I've managed to integrate this roof to make it look more integrated with the roof of the existing, so it's less cut up here as it was in the original plan. And then I think most importantly, this was the east view that faces down to Drift Road. And this addition has gotten significantly longer. And I know it was a concern of the commission's initially about how much of this is covering up this elevation of the end of the church. And you can see it extends further into the view of this end of the church. In addition, because we're not redoing the interior of Howland Hall, we're going to have to eliminate this window. This is attic space up here over the existing kitchen. So we'll eliminate that window and temporarily not put this window in. So you can see we're going to save these 3 existing windows, which are in the existing bathrooms on the main floor and the lower level of Howland Hall. We have funding for another phase of work which will renovate the bathrooms, at which point we will be able to put this window in. But for now, when we're finished with this project, sometime next summer, it'll look like this temporarily until we can do the bathroom renovations and add this window and this window. In addition, because of the change of how the circulation patterns work, I am going to have to put another egress stair way back tucked in the corner behind here on the north side of the church. So you can see here, that's a new door and stair coming down from here.
And when you say circulation patterns, do you mean, I don't understand what that means.
What's happened in the basement is that because I've closed off this part of this stair, the basement of Howland Hall had a door that went out at grade down here, and it had a half-level stair and a door that came out there at grade. But because of the way I've had to put this ramp across here, I can't have that door anymore. And as a consequence, I need a second means. Becomes a second means of egress
to get out of the basement.
Out of the basement. So you come out of the basement, up this stair, and then back down again. It's a little circuitous, but it satisfies the code for egress. So, knowing that there was concern at the last hearing about this obscuring part of this, I did this. The roof fell on the tower. This is crude, but I think it explains what we're going to end up with. And really, the question is what does this look like here? And is it a problem? And I actually kind of like the cascade of the smaller forms coming down here. I think it works pretty well. But if you handle that gently, you can pass it around and look at it. Don't look too closely at that.
Would you like to say?
Thank you. Chris, the only question I have is the stair now enters into, comes up to Howland Hall rather than being a bit more private and not having the public stair enter right into Howland Hall
Well,
itself?
it's basically so this is the plan that we're proposing right here. Basically, right now, there's this exterior concrete stair that dumps right into Howland Hall. So this stair, which is enclosed and interior, is doing the same thing. It's basically replicating how this stair approaches Howland Hall. So it comes directly into Howland Hall. It's the main entrance to Howland Hall.
The concrete stair was?
And it will be gone and will be replaced by this, which is essentially the same stair but with a roof over it. It's not out of concrete, it's going to be a new built stair.
When you talk about the window being removed due to bathrooms, so in the next renovation, I don't, we don't have any purview over the interior design,
No.
but I guess I'd want to understand, so when that window shows up, what would change here?
Well, these bathrooms will get renovated and partitions moved around so that we can get the third window back in here.
Got it, so the bathrooms may stay there, it's just, it'll be,
Well, there will be
Created so
bathrooms,
the
bathrooms
window-
there, but, I mean, this partition would end up right in the middle of that window. So, and it's possible that the funding may be in place when we discover how much all this is gonna cost. The funding, by the time we're, even before we finish this phase of the project, we may be able to start building the bathrooms, in which case, this window anyway would end up being part of the project. What?
So, sorry, just to be clear on that, the middle window, it's going from, what, 6 lights to 4 lights?
Which, this one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, so you're still planning to do that in the long run?
No, not in the long run.
Oh,
Because remember, this is a vault, in Howland Hall right now, this is a vaulted ceiling. But this area of the kitchen has a ceiling over it, a flat ceiling. So this window would end up being above the flat ceiling.
okay, so that's permanently gone?
That's permanently gone,
The
yes.
other small windows, you still intend eventually to
Yes,
do those according to the original
yes.
plan? Okay.
There is something very handsome about the symmetry established in the church and then reflected in your elevation.
Well, I mean, that was the comment that we got originally, was that by making this similar to this, same roof slopes, same long overhangs, it sort of helped integrate Howland Hall more to the church. Now it looks like a carbuncle on the end of the building. It just helps a little bit.
Are there any comments from the public? Jeff?
I just have some questions. So, when the kitchen and the bathroom are not done, then these two upper windows go away. How about this one right here? Does that one wait also?
That one waits also, yes.
Just waits?
It waits.
Okay. So I like the fullness of that rather than that other one. And then this one, we'd be getting that, right? Because there's not bathrooms down on that end anymore. Oh, yeah, it's, well, oh, yes, right?
Yeah.
That's the front side. This is the back side.
This is the back side. This is existing. Now, what have I got here?
That's the kitchen there.
Yeah, this is the.
Oh,
this is
so
the-
that
That's the
stays.
addition.
So yes, it comes back.
And this one
That one.
stays there, but this will come later?
Yes.
Okay. So then we'll get a window there, double window there, and a double window here.
Yes.
Now, up above here, I assume is that usable space that they have up there?
I had never been up there.
It's storage.
Yeah,
it's storage
Attic
space.
space, yeah.
Just an attic storage?
Pull downstairs.
Okay. I thought if you could just open that up too,
Well, we talked about
and then you could
that.
have a window.
We talked about that.
But it would mean that the kitchen would be,
That's okay.
Well,
Good for smoke.
We could take a divot out of the ceiling and
Yeah.
it just seemed, this,
Yeah.
this was a nice idea because it replicated the form of these
Right,
windows.
exactly.
But it's not a very important elevation of the building.
And then the only other piece that I just have a question on, just so I understand, is, so this is open in here?
Yes.
The roof doesn't come over?
No, it does not.
Okay, because that allows this glass,
It allows these,
the stained glass to
these stained glass, yeah,
appreciate.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes, it
the
was
light.
kept away from the windows.
Great. Let's see.
Other comments? Betty? No, please.
So Kit, of course, the commission is serving 2 roles here as a commission and also advising the CPC, the Community Preservation Committee. And we've done approvals with the CPC at town meeting to fund this. How does that change? How does the funding change? Are there differences that will affect the funding from the community preservation?
As talking with Laurel Alvera, who's chair of the board of trustees of the church,
Yeah.
Everything that we asked for with that roughly $300,000 grant for the
Yeah.
year is getting done.
Okay. We'd like you to say that if you agree to this.
Okay. Other comments from the public?
Just
Make a hallway.
Was that little puzzle with the face or something?
Gosh, well, anyway, Mark Schmidt,
Thank you.
I just want to, so Betty asked the question, which I was going to ask. Thank you, Betty. I knew you'd get up first. So that takes care of that. That's my capacity of, as a member, in my capacity as a member of CBC. And just in terms of my capacity as a private citizen, I'm glad to see the improvement of adding the bit of decorative
The decorative thing there.
frieze there, or decorative, in the gable.
Yeah, I've scaled it down for that.
Yeah, I think that helps, because I was worried before about all that blank space
Yes,
above,
yeah,
above the shed roof over the front of the entry doors. And by adding that embellishment, as you said, it picks up some of the detailing of the gable on the church. And so I think that's made a big improvement. And I see a lot of heads nodding too, so. I don't have any more comments.
So Mark is the monitor.
CPC monitor?
He is the liaison between the CPC and the project. Mark Schmidt.
Any other comments from the public? So Katrina, I know when we voted on the original certificate, you were concerned about obscuring that large window in the back of the church.
Yeah. I mean, you know what, it's tough, right? Because I think that the improvement is substantial. I'm struggling a little bit with, we're not supposed to approve, we can't approve the dream, we have to approve every step along the way, because the dream may never get realized. And so whatever we approve, we have to be willing to live with. So if we concede, yep, that window isn't going to be there, it may never be there. So I guess I want to make sure that I'm really clear about what we are saying okay to, right? I completely understand that.
You're concerned about this window, is that right?
Well, you know what? Let me just see here. Because I want to make sure, I have the before-after part, right? Because this is revised, so this is what you're proposing.
For
This
now.
is what was here before.
Well,
And we originally said, yes, this is what was
yes,
approved.
that's what it was.
And what we're saying is, let's do this instead.
Yes,
Okay, and same here. This was originally approved,
yes,
and we're saying we have to do this instead.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to be clear, those small windows are what's there. And
Yes.
Yes.
What was there from the beginning.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, so the only thing, so that third window, at the very top, actually, I think you drew it in this time around, because I think it was
This one,
yeah, so that's going in.
yes.
I think the kick out of the foyer, right, so it's gonna obscure the stained glass.
That's not a stained glass.
Or, sorry,
Yeah, that's plain glass.
the plain glass window.
Well, Well, it's going to
I mean, it's,
Can I just make a clarification, I think,
Go ahead.
might help? The thing about elevations is that you never really see it that way in real life. So when you say that you're gonna lose that window, you will lose it down here.
yep,
You will not lose it over here as you're coming up the road, because you'll see right through and see
Right.
it all, so just want to point that out.
Katrina, I
Yeah.
built that model just for you.
no, and I'm sure you did, Kit. I'm sure you did, I walk that way every day, right? I walk that way every
I
day.
knew you were concerned about this.
Yeah, it's just
structure.
that funky little space right there, you
Well-
know, it's just,
I mean, by the scale of it, it's all kind of in proportion.
I think another thing to keep in mind is this property drops off towards the back of
Yes.
Howland Hall, and so you never really see, never see this on the level, I mean, you're always
No,
looking
no,
at it
you're
downhill.
always looking at it from down here.
yeah. And since that whole foyer has to be changed, you know, is there anything to consider moving this here, or like that would be even worse?
So that would then definitely cover up this window, actually.
Well, because I don't know how low it is, right?
Oh, it goes, here, it goes way down to here. That's it. So that would.
Yeah, even worse.
It have to keep.
Has to be away.
We looked at actually sliding this down a little bit to make this space wider.
A little wider, yeah.
And we thought we might be able to move it far enough so we wouldn't have to replace the well, which is right about here. But in fact, we can't move it far enough to get it away from the well. And the farther over we move it here, the closer it gets to this window.
Yeah, which makes it look funny on that side.
It makes it look funny on
Yeah.
that side. So we left it there.
Yeah.
Good, thank you for doing that model. I think it's very, very helpful, even just in the.
Well, it's very crude, and I'm quite embarrassed by it, but
No,
it helps.
not necessarily. But I'd like to go back to the, you said it's not a very important view, but this being a civic building, there is no view that isn't important. And in that, the theme of the symmetry doesn't establish itself with this church. It goes back to Rome, Greece, and so
Oh, yes.
forth, and in fact to our own forms. I think if you could consider the raised window in the middle of what will not be potentially any symmetry until the other window is created, might be bring it into the vocabulary that the rest of the project establishes, and your model with its various views reinforce, which is just that slightly greater height, then does go back to the essence of the church and its symmetry and how it works. It's a little bit of kind of a fake because it would only be lighting the attic.
Well, we could talked about it. We could take a divot out of the ceiling and frame a hole in the ceiling big enough so that you could look up through the hole and see that window, and it would bring the high light down into the kitchen. But it seems kind of ridiculous to do that just for the kitchen.
The people being in the kitchen less than,
Yeah, the outside.
sorry?
I mean,
Yeah, the outside would look great.
I could put a fake panel up here, or
Why not just just create a very thin joining of the attic floor and the kitchen floor, just so where the mountain is the crossbar, allowed a little bit of light. I'm going to bet you, because this happens, that little attic, because it's substantially more than just a little attic when you go into it, is going to be inhabited sometime.
oh, I understand what you mean. So just a band that corresponds to the ceiling joists, and then the
Yes.
window sitting right on the floor of the attic.
But just to add that then makes this less of a pedestrian building and more in the style and in the kind of character of
the church, which I think
Yeah,
you acknowledged so nicely.
We could do that, I guess. I mean, that window is in our budget.
Oh.
But
Budgets never get smaller.
no, they don't.
Yeah,
They don't.
exactly.
I wanted to add, I'm Pastor Heidi Fiore, I'm the new pastor at the Westport Point Church. And part of the gracious CPC grant that we have is funding all of these windows that are being added. And so when, the reason that we're not putting them in right away is because we are still working on the funding for the renovations of the bathrooms and the kitchen. But just so that you're aware, we do have the money in place for the windows, we just don't want to put them in until the bathroom and kitchen are done. And so I just wanted to make that clarification so that if you're concerned about the windows, that we have every intention of getting them put in. It's just a matter of we want to get the inside done first.
Yeah.
Another issue. The symmetry being what it is, I'd still languishing, but I think that adding that window whenever you do would give a little bit more of the character of what is not just a kitchen, but a whole church.
We can do what would happen. I mean, if I move this window up a little bit.
Oh, now you're talking.
And then have a band here that basically corresponds to the ceiling joists. That would be easy to do. And the window would be lighting the attic, but it would look great out here.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this form. And in fact, if I raised that window, the line from this corner to that window to there would correspond with the breakboard.
Yeah.
Your
I
pencil doesn't.
think we can offer to do that for that window.
Yeah, I think that would be a big improvement.
Your pencil doesn't want to just make it a window of the praying hands, so that it, like the other windows.
You mean,
Getting a little too literal here?
I mean,
I know we're getting carried away here, but that's why we go to church.
something like that. And that may be going a little far.
That's interesting. What do you think?
I
It's
think
much
it's a
more
little
expensive,
far.
much more expensive to get custom made too.
I would prefer the rectangular window.
And can you remind me, so I like the idea if you can do it to put the band and then the window in the attic. I think it gets us there, right?
Yes, it
And
does.
if that's the intent,
Yes.
why not? And there's nothing interior that we need to change in order to do that.
No.
So, okay, so again, it's the bottom part that where you just actually, we're approving the top part, right?
Yes.
The revised.
Yes.
Okay, so we would add that upper window to the top part.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me, if this is, I'm gonna have a band here that corresponds to the ceiling joist, and then we'll put this window here.
Okay.
And the band would just be a trim board?
Yeah, just be a trim.
What would be the size of the trim board? It's the same as the joist, the floor joist, which
Yeah, I
would be
mean, I'm
10-inch.
I mean, it may have to be bigger than that, because I'm not yet sure where this, at this point, where the ceiling is. It's probably somewhere right along. Well, it'd probably have to be higher than that, in fact.
So you'd have a 12-inch board
Yes,
across there, and then the window would be above that.
Yes.
Just so people are clear that when you talk about just putting a band across there,
Yeah,
that is
it's
the
a little bit bigger,
proportion
yeah.
of that band.
But it's a
big
large face,
Big
Well,
space.
yeah.
There's no reason, though, that you couldn't just make a little well in the attic. No
Yes.
one's gonna fall in it and just.
It's a
have
it's a non-load bearing wall. It's a
Yes.
non-load
Yeah.
bearing
Yeah.
wall,
We'll
so
figure
you
it-
can cut right through the joist, make a little box going up. So you have this box in the ceiling, and that would make a nicer job.
So what dimension would you suggest for that?
Well, then you could sit right down on the window, so you would have the window all connected all the way up.
So just like the original,
Yeah,
or what was approved?
Extended in the middle there.
yeah, you'd have the windows stacked right on top of each other, so you'd have no, just a little space, you know.
Well, I think we're saying though
inches.
that if it was stacked tightly, they'd have to put a well in the ceiling.
That's right.
So they don't want to, if,
Well,
and I shouldn't say
no,
they,
Bill,
if,
we can make it look like this originally looked. It's not gonna be all that hard to do. So let's revert back to this.
so no band and just a stacked window?
No bandit, just a stack.
Do you think it looks better, I mean, stretched out a little bit more? I mean, like that band, I'm not talking about a big band, but, you know, something?
Well, Let me
I would say.
Maybe it's a monitor thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think if we can get,
Get it close,
like, get it
conceptual.
close, then we
Yeah.
can,
Let's say one way or another, we'll extend the height of this window.
yeah, and consult with the monitors.
Yes,
That would be
yes.
better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so if I keep walking to the next, so basically, if I'm down on Drift Road, that's what it's gonna look like. And then if we go to the next view,
Here,
yep,
come around the corner.
come around the corner. So that little window is gonna be a little window because that's the bathroom. And we're gonna tackle that at a later time.
Yes,
Okay.
so
Now,
this window and this window will come back at a later time.
at a later time.
And get rid of these three little ones.
Okay. But those 3 large windows are gonna stay. And the 2 windows in the foundation,
The two windows in the foundation.
and that one on the right is gonna scooch in a little bit. Or is it, no, it doesn't. It's gonna be under the 3rd window,
Yeah,
right?
This one's under, this one's
Okay.
not aligned with these windows.
Okay. And then the egress stair is now down the back. Okay. Yeah.
Could I say something? The interesting thing about this is, I believe this is the only building in the historic district that has to have handicapped accessibility.
Has to have a what?
Handicapped accessibility. It's the only public building, isn't that correct? So that has created a lot of problems for this building, as you've seen as they've gone along. You don't look at the insides, but if you think about it, the insides really affected the cost. What, are you going to have an elevator? How does that affect the outside? So Kit and the others have been really struggling with this
Yeah.
and have found many solutions, and finally now I think they have one. So I just wanted to say my appreciation for the work that's been done, because this is unique. It's a CPC project, it's a historical commission approval, and it's handicapped accessibility.
Yeah.
And all levels are going to be accessible. The Drift Road entrance, that door under the window we've been discussing is going to accommodate wheelchairs at grade. The lift,
It does pretty nearly now.
no, but it
But
won't.
it will perfectly when it's.
And then the lift will provide access to all 3 levels, and ultimately another way into the sanctuary through the ramps. So I think in terms of accessibility for community members using the hall for a concert or whatever, it really gives,
Yeah.
And that's the goal of this project, is that ultimately we believe that this is a church for the community and that we want this space to be something more accessible and more usable by the greater Westport Point community.
And the basement underneath the church itself is just gonna be a basement now?
that is, and that is the one area of the whole project that will not be accessible to wheelchairs. It is going to have a small staircase. And that kitchen is not going to
Right.
be used as the kitchen.
Because you have the new one,
Exactly.
so. Okay, very good.
Are we at a point where we can make a decision. Any further concerns before we move ahead? Do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the revised designs as presented, as well as the one change to the window above the door on the east
East side, yes.
side. I think that's the only change that we made.
I think so. Is there a second?
Second,
Did you want to say anything about the acknowledgement that it will be, the other two windows will be put in at a future date for all intents and purposes?
You might even state that they have been funded.
Well, the windows have been funded, the interior changes have not been funded, which is probably the much larger
Windows have been funded.
ticket item.
But that means that we have the funding, it'll get done. I mean, even if we, if the worst comes to happen and we can't do the interior, we have the funding and we would get the windows done, so.
We also are embarking on a capital campaign
Yeah.
and a fundraising plan. This is in 2 stages. The first stage of the exterior and all the CPC work is hopefully scheduled for 2026. At the same time, we're kicking off our fundraising efforts so that when we do the interior, hopefully in 2027.
As
Yeah.
well as working and looking at different grants to do the conference and things like that as well.
Maybe you can write into your motion, that you're voting on, the approval of the other two windows going in at a future time, that way they don't have to come back to it again.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about this because those are already approved.
Correct.
And so what you're asking us to do now is to approve a modification where you don't do something that is already
Yes.
approved.
Say that again, please.
Well, the changes, I mean, the windows that you have money for, you know, they've already been approved. So you're removing something from your proposal that we've already approved.
Yeah. I mean, I think to keep it simple, we're approving the changes with that one window above the door, and then at some point in the future, when you get funding and you come in and you're gonna add new windows or whatever, then, you know, just come in and we'll talk about that then, right? I think we can't necessarily say, we approve, contingent that someday you're gonna add windows, because that could be 10 years from now. We want it to be 2 years from now, but it may not be. And so I think, yeah,
And there probably would not be any opposition to replacing a teeny tiny window with beautiful
exactly.
colors.
I guess I just feel that we can't borrow the future too far, right? It's,
Right, well, I mean, the building permits lapse and
Yep.
certificates lapse and so on. So I'm just wondering if we should just leave those windows as approved for now, and you could come back to us later. I mean, if the clock runs out on those, I mean, the building permit will have to be closed out somehow, right? And
I think you get 2 extensions.
2 extensions, okay. So, anyway, I mean, you're still planning to do what was already approved.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think we need to take those things out of the project at this point. Betty?
I think that, now on the CPC
Mhm.
side, we will not finance, we will not give them the funding if they don't put the windows in.
Mhm.
So that funding is held until they put the windows in. I mean,
And so-
when you write your note to the CPC about
Mhm.
this, you should mention this.
Mhm.
It have to make it clear that they have been approved, and they will be put in, and they should be financed, but the money should not be given to them until they put the window in. Okay,
Right, so
that would help.
So would it be, I mean, wouldn't it be better to just leave those windows as was approved in the original? And then if ultimately you really don't want to put those in, then you come back to us for a change.
Yeah, let's just say that by presenting this drawing, we're asking for a pause on these two.
You're deferring, yeah, you're deferring. Yeah, yeah. And I don't know that we have to approve a deferral.
That's, yes.
So really, then, all we're approving tonight is the extension of the, yep, we're approving that, and we're approving that one window change.
Yes, this additional window.
That window plus also
The stacked
possible
one, the
banding
attic.
of the, yeah. Okay, I wonder if you'd be willing to withdraw your motion?
I think it's me. I withdraw my motion,
Okay.
so that we can make a new motion.
So we can make a new motion, okay. So, motion is withdrawn. So now, just to be clear, what we're proposing is to approve the change to the entrance, the addition of a third window on the north side. and-
On the east side.
There's two different windows, there's the north side and then there's the extension of the one on the east.
Yeah, that's the north side.
And the door, and the door. The doorway.
The second.
Oh, this,
And the second egress.
Oh. Okay, so there are four things. There's changes to the entrance, at the third window on the north side of the building, a new egress on the north side of the building, and possible change to the middle window on the east side of the building, to be discussed with the monitors. Okay.
Could I ask one question? The two windows that are not to be, that have been funded but will not be installed until those just don't fit in the current
yes.
plan.
Until we can those windows would go here and here. And until we can reconfigure the space
Right, just
to
in the middle.
provide handicap accessible toilet rooms, we just can't put them in yet.
Okay, so now do I hear a motion?
I'll move that we approve the revised, oh, sorry, did somebody want to say something?
And then you have to say it all.
And then I don't have to say it, excellent, so moved. Thank you for the hint. Phew, thank God, I was gonna read my notes. So moved.
Is there a second? Seconded by Caroline. Let's do a voice vote. A roll call vote, sorry.
That's okay, Katrina Strozak, aye.
Mark Thompson, aye.
Ward Boney, aye.
Garrett Stuck, aye.
William Kendall, aye.
Caroline Bolger, aye.
It's approved. Okay, now Betty, what exactly do you want from me? Given what's been
I
approved?
want to know what you approve now. It doesn't affect our finances, but it does affect, what's going to look like in the end, so we need to know that.
Okay, so
The things you approve, because they are external.
the language of the
We are
motion,
paying for them. Mhm.
so just a letter from me saying that the historical commission has approved these changes, these four
And
changes.
we recommend it.
Really recommend it. Okay, good. Okay. Let's see.
I have full-size copies, but I was
Okay, yes.
You're gonna auction that off at the silent auction I think you could put that in the silent auction at the Holly Fair. Somebody's gonna pay good money for that kit.
You should definitely do that.
That's awesome.
Okay, next item. Applications for certificate of non-applicability. We had several this month. So Jill Schlossberg Ackerman, we actually discussed this at the last meeting, 1970 Wing Road. CNA for exterior stairs and railings repair. And then we have an application by Pamela Tripp, 24 Valentine Lane to replace roof of garage and attached shed with asphalt shingles in same color, approved by the clerk and the chair. And that's it then for CMAs.
So on the agenda for tonight, it was the stairs and the railings. I think Valentine Lane was approved last week, or last month.
No, that's a new one. I think it was just received. November
Okay,
3rd.
it wasn't on the
It was not on the agenda.
so can you tell me what it is again?
Yeah.
Thank you, sorry.
Yeah, that was just received. Okay. Item 3, Westport Historical Society presentation on proposed clapboard repairs at the Bell School.
And Garrett, what order of business does this go under? It's not a preliminary review, it's just,
It's application for certificate of non-applicability.
it is non-applicability? Okay,
So we're just reporting on things that we've approved outside the meeting.
okay. No, I'm sorry, the
this one.
Bell Schoolhouse.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing an advisory role to the CPC.
Okay, so not necessarily general business, it is a special section.
Yes, it could be a special section. I didn't put it
Okay.
that way in the meeting notice, but yes, it could be. Okay.
Okay, basically, I'm
Just
here to bring you up to date on.
state your name, please, for the record.
I'm sorry?
State your name for the record.
Oh, I'm sorry, Yvonne Barr, and I'm here for the Westport Historical Society, where I am chairman of the Facilities Committee. And the Facilities Committee has put effort into the whole Bell School project. And this brings you up to date as to the fact that the building is pretty much completed. In fact, I believe this coming weekend, we're having an open house for anyone, for the public who would like to come and see what we've done. And so the interior is finished. It's the exterior that we're looking to go forward with. And originally, it was to have been painted as part of our contract with R.P. Valois. But it was also discovered when they had the interior walls off that the fabric, the sheathing of the clapboard was kind of shot. And after 200 years, as you might expect, it has some holes in it. So they suggested that what we ought to think about is new clapboard and doing that before painting, because we would be wasting our money, and I think that's probably correct. So we are applying for new funding or additional funding from CPC to complete this project. And I think it's probably not envisioned for this fall. It's too late for construction and painting, but it would be next spring. And that will really complete it. And so let's see, what else can I tell you about it? The materials will be superior materials. They'll be cedar sheeting, red cedar clapboard and mahogany trim. Windows will be addressed because they're leaking badly, and around the doors, and it should be perfect. And so I'm wondering if you have any questions that we should be addressing before we take this to CPC.
Are you removing the damaged clapboards?
I'm sorry?
How many clapboards what's the scope of the job in terms of the siding?
You mean the square footage?
Well, I mean, are you doing the whole building?
Well, we would be doing 3 sides of the building. The 4th side, of course, is covered by the addition, which already has been sided.
Okay, so, and you'll be replicating what's there?
Yes,
So you're re-siding,
yes,
you're
completely.
not repairing, this is a total re-side.
No, although we anticipate, well, one of the other things that was discovered during this period was that there was a lot of rot inside the walls of the building due to the leakage through the windows and through the holes and so forth. So it is anticipated, some spots in particular, but it is anticipated that there will be repairs to the interior woodwork.
I have a question concerning the windows. You said you were addressing them. How is that?
I'm sorry, I can't, I have the problem, I can't hear.
I
Let me
think
come
you
a
said
little
you were
closer.
addressing the windows. You were addressing the windows. What are you going to be doing to the
We're
windows?
not putting in new windows, no.
Right.
The windows are fine as they are, the sash will stay, it's just going to be the frames and the
Flashing?
flashing
Mhm.
that will be replaced.
So you're replacing the trim around the windows?
Yes, new trim, because the trim, some of the trim that's there is the problem.
Yeah. But you're not repairing the trim, or you're seeking some of the original and then making repairs?
No, I think probably we'll replace all the trim because some of it has been replaced, pieced, and some of it's rotten and some of it has provided leaks. So it's not clear that it will be 100% replaced, but it's very likely.
But it will be in the same proportion?
Yes, exactly the same.
Mhm.
But the sash will remain.
Right.
as is.
Betty, would you like to say something?
So again, a CPC is asking the project manager to come to the Historical Commission, very different from the Howland Hall, which is in the Historic District. So basically, your role is not to give approval for any certificate. It's just actually to inform the CPC that you believe that this is a valuable project and necessary, and that they will be using the proper materials. Because basically, it's replace as is. I mean, it's basically with same materials, replacing and repairing. So that's what we ask, if this seems reasonable to you. And again, the letter or form, or however you do it, as advice to the CPC. Because we're going to be asked to finance it. The town is going to be asked to finance it.
We're also looking at this not as a new contract, but as a change order on the old contract, because it's sandwiched between the two projects, between the old, between the repair of the body and the paint.
How is the project documented? Drawings are generally produced and they then are approved, and based on that, construction is undertaken. But do you have documents?
Do we have documents?
Yes, drawings that
Yes,
indicate what you,
yes.
and those have been submitted?
Well, sorry, you mean, do we have documents for the,
Drawings that
for the
show how
siding,
you were,
for the shingling, the clappers?
and any other parts that you're doing?
The rest of the project, yes, we've utilized an architect for the whole project.
Oh,
And
good.
he's
And,
continued to be involved.
And he must have created, I assume this is being bid?
No, we will not, we hope not to rebid it.
But you bid it originally.
I'm sorry.
You put it out for bid originally.
We
and
did,
that's
oh,
how
yes,
that
we did.
was
Yeah.
on the contract.
Yes.
So my question
absolutely.
was, what were the documents and have they been submitted?
So I think what Betty was saying is it's not our purview to review those documents
I see.
but our purview is to say the Bell Schoolhouse is of historical significance to the town. And so if CPC chooses to fund, we're saying we would like you to fund because it is an historical building. But it's not our purview to say what they will and won't do. It's like for like.
Well, I know, but Betty did say one thing, that we look at it to see and analyze the materials, right? Because we are always concerned about the longevity of the job.
Right.
And want to, wherever the CPC money is put, we want to see it go on these historic buildings and stay there for a while.
Correct.
And we'd like the paint to stay on the clapboards.
Yeah.
So maybe we should see the specs.
I
Well,
think, just one
I
second.
think I've included the description in what I've given you about what is going to be utilized.
I would assume you already have those documents because you approved the original. Remember? You approved it in a former meeting. So you have documents, you just haven't seen them for the project as a whole. This basically was discovered afterwards, after that they thought that they were finished, and it discovered, which happens all the time, that they were rotten. So they want to replace them, and the question is, with what they're replacing them, does that make sense to you? And would you recommend that this project be? You don't recommend the project. You recommend the materials that she's going to use. And I think they've said what the materials
It's
are.
cedar and mahogany.
Does that make
Right,
sense?
so-
Do you understand?
But the details would be authentic.
Pardon?
Because their details are changing all the time as materials and so forth. But the details that you will be replicating, that you should be replicating, have been documented and approved.
From what I understand, you did that previously, at the previous meeting.
We did, well, again,
It's a long time
we're
ago.
not approving, but we did have a vote
Recommend.
and we did recommend to the CPC.
So there'd be
that
no
this would be
change
a
externally.
worthwhile project.
In the
No,
look.
there will be no external change.
No
No one will
change in
perceive
look.
that anything-
It's just the materials.
But that's, so the appearance on the outside is one thing. That they were, the details, to make an authoritative structure, the details are as important as the mascara. They talk about the capacity and the tools and the protocols that were used in the various periods original to this construction. So that all I was asking was, were there details, were they documented, so that we're not seeing a kind of a confabulation of different periods when we look at this as a building another 500 years from now.
That's a historical commission question.
Yeah, it may be.
Yeah, you have to think
One
about
thing
that.
is that when we're talking about like for like, the old clapboards are different than the new clapboards. The old clapboards have a square edge. The new clapboards that you buy have a round edge. This is what I mean, we should see a detail of what, when they say like for like, we're just using the word clapboard. You want to know what kind of clapboard is being put on. Drawings.
I wasn't aware of that. Thank you. I don't know, I believe that the clapboards that are presently on the building are original 1842, which would
Have the square edge.
have the form that you're speaking of. And I don't know if modern clapboards are available with that.
But this is an historic restoration. It is not to be, this doesn't happen out of a box down at Home Depot's.
I don't know the answer.
Well, it's important if we're, or
Yes,
if there isn't a review
I
process that
understand
is
that.
authoritative.
Okay. I will find out.
Good.
Thank you.
So just for my own clarification, because I guess I'm a little confused about process.
Right.
So as a committee, because this dates me too, I have only been around for less than a year. And the Bell Schoolhouse project has been going on a long time.
A while, yes.
So at some point, Yvonne or somebody came here and said, this is what we would like to do to renovate the schoolhouse.
Mhm.
And those drawings and details were presented.
Mhm.
We reviewed those, we accepted those,
Mhm.
and we said, hey, CPC, we agree with what they want to do. This is an important building. Please, if you are able to fund it, we'd love you to fund it. This would be a good project. And so the CPC funded it. Now, fast forward, we can't just paint the exterior because we found some challenges. So we need to come back here to say, we weren't planning on replacing the exterior, but now we need to repair/replace. And in order for us to approve that, approve is the wrong word, in order for us to
Recommended.
understand that and recommend it to the CPC, then we would need more specifics about the material and what they're using to make sure it's historically correct. And then we could make a recommendation to the CPC that says, yes, based on what they're gonna use, we recommend that this would be handled. All right,
Well said.
okay.
Who is the contractor? Is it someone who has,
RP Valois.
and does he have, or do they have expertise in historical
Oh, yes.
projects? I mean, I know
Oh,
they
yes.
do a lot of work around town.
Let's see, they did the Bethel in New Bedford.
Yeah.
So
and-
maybe would we ask them for cut sheets, or is that the best thing to?
Well, we'd like a drawing that shows exactly what they're using, the material and a drawing of that material, and to show us that it matches the actual clapboard. If they could bring in a clapboard and another one that would certainly show us that.
Can do that.
I mean, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
that
but
may
normally,
change the cost.
is the case, is there are various standards, national, state, local, for an historic building to be documented as such, or to be, so to speak, claimed as such. And so surveys are done of the building as early as possible. And very often these are funded by national sources, so you don't, it isn't really, it's a matter of making an application. But what you then end up with is a document that has the authority of the funding group as well as whatever local reviews there may be. But thereafter then you have a document which allows you to basically provide that as a bid document or as a portion of the bid documents, so that the standard that was set that makes this a historic building, so we don't wander from where we believe we are doing, and most people on most of these boards are not professionals in that respect, but it really means that our preservation project is truly a preservation project, and that it begins with preservation and then is documented and bid and passed on, and the funding usually comes from other sources, but they judge whether you deserve have you earned the funding, because you have observed what the initial documentation provides. And for an historic building, it's one of many, but one that's called out as as a civic building of interest, that usually would be the case.
Okay, well, back to the contractor.
So what exactly is it that you want her to bring in?
Well, what is the basis for the bid documents?
Okay.
Is it authoritative, or is it just kind of an incremental view of what is in place? If we're going to expend the public monies on a declared building of historic interest, then we want to be restoring to the accurate documents.
So you need to know what's there now.
Well, my question was much simpler than we're going, but I was just...
But I mean, what she needs to give to you is what's there now and what's going to be put there, correct?
And pictures.
Yeah, I mean, the whole,
What was the basis for
yeah, because,
the bid documents, which are going to be the legal authority and this whole thing, the contracts were?
So did you use the word, I think I heard you use the word a survey.
Well, that's how you get it. And the surveys usually can be funded by one of the various levels of authority.
survey would also have to be funded by CPC, and there's a whole, there would be a delay of a year for that to be done, because the deadline is December 11th to get everything in for next May. I haven't, hasn't been the process of the Historical Commission to go into this kind of detail to date, and that could be one of the issues.
May I interject?
Sure.
As an architect, I've been familiar with this building for a very long time. Sir, I don't know your name. You don't have
Mark Thompson.
Mark Thompson, Mr.
Yeah.
Thompson. Do you
Thompson.
what?
It's, as they say, a wet Thomas. It's a P in it, Thompson.
Thompson,
Yeah.
okay. Do you understand that this building has been, this is the very last little piece of a complete renovation of the building, and that there was no original survey done of it. It's been done well, and this is just one last little detail, one last little repair that has to be made to the building. We're not going to do a complete archaeological survey of the whole building just to replace clapboards.
Sure.
So it is reasonable that we demonstrate that the clapboards we're going to put on the building match the clapboards that are there, and that any trim boards that we're going to put on the building match the trim boards that are there. But that seems to be a fairly simple thing to do, and can be done easily and quickly, I would say.
So maybe the learning here for us is if we can do that for the Bell Schoolhouse, given where it is in its process, maybe if in the future we make recommendations to the CPC, we probably need to think about what do we need to make a recommendation? Do we need a historical survey? Like how much rigor do we want to put behind those kinds of things, just so that we can, you know, we have an idea of what we should or should not, or a better way to approve of something, right? I don't have your experience, so I wouldn't have even known to ask those questions, right? But you're here for a reason, and maybe it's an opportunity for us to mature as a commission to figure out, maybe we should be looking to ask for those kinds of things. I would agree with Kit, we're a little late to the movie on this one.
Yes.
So I think what we need, my recommendation would be, given what we have done in the past, what would we ask Yvonne to do for us so that we can make the recommendation to CPC to move this along, and then learn from Mark and ask ourselves, you know, there are probably other historical properties in Westport that we're gonna
I'm looking over your
purview
shoulder
over.
and assuming that the handy house had a standard as well.
Yeah, so
The handy house did have a full survey done. The handy house did have a full survey done, did it? Yes. May I suggest that the commission could, if the commission does not make a recommendation to the CPC, and we have to wait another month, it may be too late for the CPC.
No, December's okay.
December's okay.
December's okay.
All right. So I will help Yvonne bring the appropriate materials for your review next month. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so
Is that okay?
just to be clear, so we'd like to know what's there. What are the clapboards that are on there now, and what are you proposing to put on?
Yes.
And I guess also any trim boards and new
Well,
materials?
the trim boards are very standard flat boards.
Just-
There's
just-
nothing
They're just plain old SRS
Mhm.
boards, that's all they are.
So I think it's everything that's in this list, right? It's mahogany sills, window casings, red copper step flashing, the sashes will remain, cedar clapboards, and paint color.
So the profiles of the sills, is that something that, I mean, Mark, what would be your,
What did you say profiles of?
of the sills?
Yeah, well, there are buildings that are historically kind of set in the vernacular that is passed on generationally. But then there are other ones, and I assume Handy is one of those, that was documented, that if you like the word archaeology, it was looked into in depth. There were probably many, over the residential use of the property, many changes. But at some point, there is generally established a period of authority where that was what the building sprang from, that period of craftsmanship, material use, and so forth, and circumstance. So, and as I say, the vernacular is appropriate to buildings, as I understand it, that are have been taken as a part of the community's participation at various levels and various ways and so forth. And I think this one, insofar as I've seen it, was probably more thoroughly documented and pursued, funded, constructed. And that's certainly a wonderful set of goals to, but you also don't need to go back and you kind of admitted the status of that building. It's being passed down, the schoolhouse may be being passed down in another way that makes sense for that kind of an approach. But think of, on the national scale, what's happening in Washington at the moment. This is, so there are various approaches.
Yeah, well, I think we're
We're not going to use that one.
Yeah, I think we need to help you move forward with this project, and,
Sure.
and we've already
Appreciate that.
approved a big part of it. So I'm just trying to understand what you, Mark, you and Bill specifically, would like to see.
So Bill asked for a sample of the clapboard,
Right.
a drawing.
The thing is, you say clapboards, and we go over there, we're gonna look at it, and all of a sudden we see this modern clapboard that doesn't match it at all, because we use the word clapboard. We should
Right.
go down and buy them at Home Depot or
Yep.
the lumber places. So that's all I was thinking, that could be something where we are very surprised that it was done wrong.
So you would like photos and ideally a sample
Yeah.
of the replacement.
But there's
Okay,
also
so you would
circumstance.
like a sample.
If possible, or a
Okay.
photo,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
I think
Well-
the example, right, was if it's a squared edge.
Yes, a round
And a
edge.
modern clapboard is a round edge.
Mhm.
We want a picture that Valois is gonna
Yes.
use. Here's the squared edge clapboard that we will install.
Exactly.
Here's, the picture of, here's the sill, here's the trim board. So we know this is what it looks like. If we have to replace this, this is what we're gonna use. And then that way,
Yvonne,
Does that make
It's
sense?
just great if you go over there and take one of those clapboards that are falling off and take one over here. It would be also good for the district because you could see what the actual clapboards were. Well, we could get a new clapboard and compare it to it, but that's all we need.
An old board and a new board?
Well, there's also one other factor here, because if we're going to do the remaining 3 facades all in one sweep, then we're wiping out a record and replacing it with a different record. And if that's our intention, or that's where we are in the process.
I think that's where we are in the process.
Yeah, well, but we could, as I think Bill is saying, take some of the existing, the demolition piece and preserve that. So that if a different attitude, and these are all kind of floating values, normative structures. And then we have a way of looking back at what maybe we lost or we gained a new insight to.
So preserve in the sense of a historical artifact, so
Well,
just preserve pieces of the
As a
clapboard?
community, we kind of are a library of
Yeah, well, I'm
various
sure the
pieces.
Historical Society would be open to that. I mean,
Yeah, that's what they're there for.
yeah.
The problem that you face is that we try in the district to keep the old clapboards on the buildings because it has a surface. It has paint layers that have built up and built up. And there's a character to that that you don't have when you're putting all new clapboards over this building. But in this case, apparently, it needs all new clapboards. Maybe it doesn't, I don't know.
Maybe it doesn't.
And may
You
I
could
say
you can take them off and put Tyvek under them and put them back and caulk them nicely, back paint them, seal the back of the clapboards and they won't lose the paint anymore because they didn't seal the
I think
back.
it's more extensive than that.
Okay, but that's what we try to do in the district. I mean, there are clapboards that exist on 18th century, early 18th century houses that have been painted over the years, and they're like brand new because the ultraviolet light has not gotten to them. And there's very strange ways that they've applied them. They used to feather them. They would cut them with a slice with a draw knife to get a feathered joint, and then they came in short pieces like this. And they would nail them on with a big rose head nail, big hand wrought nail, right there where you see it. So you see all of that in the old stuff. That's why we like to keep it there. But, I mean, that's part of the preservation.
Ready?
Could I recommend that you go look at the clapboards?
Hmm?
I recommend that you go look at the clapboards.
Okay.
I think that would be the most helpful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark wants to go.
sure.
Go take a look at it. I wanted to tell you that this building will be under a preservation restriction. We've hired Eric Dre, who does these things. And he is, actually, the preservation restriction is at the Mass Historic Commission right now. And then we found out about the clapboards. So I think it'd be good if you went and looked at it. They may not be original. Who knows what they are?
Mhm.
So go take a look.
Okay.
That'd be really helpful. And then they could come in December, first Monday, and then they'd come to us the third Thursday of
Okay.
December.
Right.
That gives them 3 weeks.
And you might want to explore with the contractor the possibility of
Yeah.
using.
Lovely.
Yeah, the contractor will hear about this tomorrow.
Well, there's also, there isn't one product available. I don't know how the bid process was, but if you had stipulated something over something, it's more likely that you would get what you were asking for rather than if there's no stipulation whatsoever and you get whatever you get. So there is a process that does not necessarily have to be more expensive. It just be more incisive.
So I think that would be in the change order, right, which we don't have yet,
Yes.
right? So I think that's a good point, instead of it being just this general, hey contractor, go replace this, it's hey contractor, go replace this with.
Yes.
Yvonne, when is the open house that you just mentioned?
Sorry, say.
The open house, you mentioned an open
Yes,
house,
it's
when
going
is
to
that?
be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
This week, this weekend?
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's on our website.
This coming
Do you
weekend.
know what
Mhm.
exactly it is, but
This coming weekend. Not, yeah, this coming weekend, yeah. 6th, 7th, and 8th, is that it?
I'll look it up.
Yeah, you'll probably get
Maybe you
it
can
faster
see it on
than
the
I know.
This coming weekend.
That's right.
She can't hear you.
It's this coming weekend.
Okay,
I'm forgetting the dates, but I think it's either 7th, 8th, and 9th, or 8th, 9th, and 10th.
It's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday this week, coming weekend.
Okay, so we'll put you on the agenda for December 1st. And
Okay.
Bill will go look at the building. Mark, are you going to look at it too?
Sure.
And then if you guys find something, you know, if there's more information that you think is needed, then maybe you can communicate that to Yvonne.
There's also the, I mean, I'm with you exactly. It sounds like there's somewhat of a steamroller behind this one, and that we may be a little late, maybe not.
I'm sorry, say that
Well,
again.
there's been a bid process, and you signed a contract.
This would be a continuation of the contract with the people who've done the interior and built the addition and everything else. So,
Well, there's nothing that is left out of the historic reviews. They become more intense and more focused as you go up the ranks from local to state to national. So I have no idea what has happened, but it's useful to go back and at least review to see what is.
would
likely.
you feel happier if I were to give you if I would involve the architect who has seen us through all of this with his specifications for what needs to be? Would that be?
that would be very helpful.
Yeah, I mean, it might solve the whole problem.
Perfect,
Yeah.
that would be it.
Okay.
To make it an efficient process, if you could provide it, who should receive it and then can distribute it to all of us?
Yeah, send it to me. And,
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
So just so everybody knows, it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 10 to 1. So the 8th, the 9th, and 10th.
Okay. Okay, general business, monitors reports, 1971 Main Road. I'm not sure who the monitor was for that. Maybe it was Deborah. Anyway, I don't think I have anything on 1971 Main. Anybody else? 1871 Main Road, change in plans. This was the Di Natale house, and they're proposing some minor changes to what we approved, and Deborah and I discussed it and felt that the changes were appropriate.
And that's 1879, is that what you said? I'm sorry.
That was 1871 Main Road.
1871.
Any other general business? Okay, a motion to adjourn?
Yes, motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The meeting is adjourned.